Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something really cool fixing to go down. I've got our stage 2 full exhaust for the weight loss program on the Gladiator here. It's a 2021 Gladiator, and it's gonna be an off-road rig from now on, so it's time to lighten the load and get rid of some of this stuff that I don't want to bother us when we're actually off-roading. And plus, if this stuff gets banged up off-road, it's just gonna cause issues long-term. The Gladiator up on the lift. I'm gonna be doing this exhaust here. S&S 304 full stainless, obviously TIG welded exhaust, 3-inch with a resonator. So I'm gonna be doing that today, or starting on it today anyways. But it should be a pretty simple process. Also, it's gonna get, I'm gonna be removing the DEF tank and deleting all that stuff as well, just to get rid of it. It's a kind of a pain in the butt. We've noticed on our off-road trips in the past with the orange one, when it does do a regen cycle, it burns your eyes, burns your nose, burns your throat. You can't hardly breathe. I'd rather just smell diesel fumes, to be honest, especially since I'm a diesel mechanic. But anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'll show you a few of the parts that we're going to be removing. We're going to follow that down pipe there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to be following that down and getting rid of this bigger filter here. Will be going away, and then naturally we'll come back. This is the injector, DEF injector here. Those things clog up relatively quick from what I've learned, but all this is going to be going away. Full exhaust here. Also, the DEF tank on these Gladiators are right here behind the diesel fuel tank. That's this tank here, the DEF tank. So that's going to be going away, and of course the lines to do the refill will be removed as well. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna start today. So this skid plate here has got to come off just so we can access the muffler or the catalytic converter here. Also, when you're doing this, you have to remove this crossbar here. See if I can scroll up. Yeah, this crossbar here. It's kind of like a little protection and skid plate for the transfer case. So that's gonna go away. This crossbar here, it's gonna go away. Just so I can access things a little easier, and I can drop this exhaust out when I need to. So that's pretty much how I'm gonna start this thing. I'm gonna set this up on a tripod and just get like a time lapse. They're kind of removed from the ECM. Hopefully all talks well. I did test run it. I put the tuned ECM in the Jeep, test drove it. Everything seems good. No check engine lights, no CEL. This all needs to be removed, and then I'll put the new stuff on, start it up then, and then we'll go drive it. And that'll be a good a little test run to see make sure everything is tuned properly on the ECM and we don't get any check engine lights or CEL. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm fixing to start it right now. Okay, so what I've done so far is loosened a few of the wiring components for the oxygen sensors and 2 of the flanges, the exhaust flanges. Check it out. Both of that flange, 3 bolts there. There's the injector here that I still have to disconnect the wiring here. I've pulled both of these modules out. These are modules that run up to the oxygen sensors, one here and one on the back side here. Got both of those out. These modules here will come off with the exhaust, and I'll just store them with the exhaust in case I ever want to make this roadworthy again and make it street legal. Now this is loose. This mid pipe here is loose, goes all the way to here, to that piece here. So I'm going to disconnect this wire. This is a temperature sensor. I'm gonna disconnect it up there by the transmission. There's a differential pressure sensor up there that needs to come out, and you can see here's the other side of the pressure, right there. So, and then the pressure sensor is more along the lines of up there and on top of the transmission itself. You can't see it from here, but you'll see it when I pull it down. So that's my next step. Then I will unbolt the flange, a band clamp up there. I will disconnect or remove it, loosen it, remove it. And then this EGR tube here goes up, and it's just got a flange also. Let me see if I can get it in the camera. It's got a flange right there. I'll pull it off, and then I'll pull this whole, this is the catalyst. This is the DEF, because this is where your injector is. So it injects DEF fluid into here, which in return cleans out this bad boy. So that's what I'm fixing to do. So I'm gonna put you back in time lapse. Do that. Okay, update. I pulled off from the catalyst back, which is the DEF filter and sensors. So starting with this flange here, and then all the way back. That differential pressure sensor, the two oxygen sensors here after the DEF. The injector has been removed. To get this piece out in one piece, what I did was remove the spare tire. I removed the heat shield here, and then I was able at that point to snake it and maneuver it over the track bar and out on the front side of the axle. Is how it came out. So I've got the spare tire cable here. So that's what I've done so far. So now, after getting all this out, there's another pressure sensor here. I showed you that earlier. And then I'll pull this EGR tube, I'll unbolt it in that band clamp and get this thing out of the way. Okay, update time. So right here, it's got two pressure ports, one there, temp sensor here, right there, and a temp sensor here. Okay, so what you need to do, get that stuff off. It also has a mount here and a mount right there. This is from the downpipe side with the V-clamp, and then this is your EGR tube here, and then I'll show you where it goes. This is your EGR tube, and then this is your downpipe here with the V-clamp. Those pressure lines go to this pressure sensor. It's got an in and an out, and I will pull these bolts off. The 13 millimeter here and up in here, and pull that whole assembly off. It's just a bracket that holds the sensor in, and I'll pull that sensor out. The sensor has to come off and be disconnected from the harness. So that's my next move currently. Those brackets, or the brackets that holds that piece in place, is here. But I'll pull this whole little thing out here, and then also there's one here, that tab that's on the front of that pipe. It's got a 13 mil or 14 mil nut on this side, so I'll remove that as well, and kind of pushed it over towards the frame and out of my way so I could get to these sensors. These are just quick connect. You just pull these little clips out on both ends, and they just pull off. And same thing here. You've got one sensor here. These are temperature sensors, and then one that goes up to the top of that bracket up there. You can't really see it from here, but it's there. So I'm going to move that sensor, that pressure sensor, up out of the way, get it over here, put it on the floor with the rest of this stuff, and then I'll start assembling the new exhaust, and I'll start at the downpipe and then run towards the back. Good morning, guys. So back at it again. This is day 2. I did get finished up with the exhaust installation yesterday. It got dark on me, and then we got a pretty good storm that rode through. We got a couple inches of rain, so I called it. But anyways, let's go over the exhaust that I've put on, take a look at it, and then I still have to do the DEF tank removal and all the lines associated with that. I'm gonna set you up over here and you can watch me take out this DEF tank. If I need to stop to explain anything, I will, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Remove all the bolts, drop the tank, undo all the lines, get the lines out of the way, and get rid of it. So that's my plan for today. First things first for me, and everybody's gonna do this their own way, but you've got 2 hoses here, one here and one here. They've just got quick disconnects. That's, you basically push on these green tabs here. There's one on each side, and it releases those quick connects. So this will come down with the tank, and there's appears to be a block here where all 3, the filler neck for the diesel, then the DEF fill, and this is going to be a tank vent here, the smaller one. So I need to figure out how to divide this block. I'm sure it's probably like a clamshell block, and then remove that. And then as I pull this tank down, these hoses will just drop down with it. So just a good starting point. Okay, so that was in time lapse. I hope y'all seen what I did, but if not, I'll go over a few things. The tank is out. What I'm noticing the most is I'm freeing up a ton of free room. I say free, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna be running a spare underneath this truck for one. It won't hold a 39-inch tire or a 40 if I go to a 40 in the future, so that's all gone. This is the area where the DEF tank was. So here's the tank. It's gone. Basically, as far as connections, you have this main harness here. You have this bolt, this one, and this one, 3 holding it to the frame. You have 1 here that holds it to the gas tank skid, and 2 on the bottom. Here and here, you can see those slits in it. You can basically loosen them up and just slide it out of the way. I took them all the way out. So, and then for the injector line, what I did was I pulled, where's it at? I pulled this bottom plate off here. There's 3 bolts, and you can see where that injector line just plugs in. It's a quick connect. I unplugged it and then removed the tank. So what I'm gonna do now is, and I'll show you under the vehicle, and this DEF fluid is nasty, guys. Try not to get it on you. It's the worst. But anyways, so here's the injector line. Here's the injector line. I just kind of pulled it up out of the way. You can see it's dripping. It sucks. But it went over here and connected to the tank. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna gather up this whole line. It runs, goodness gracious. I do not like this stuff all over me. It makes a mess. Whatever it gets on, it just gets crusty and just nasty. But anyways. So it goes from there to the tank. It goes up to this frame rail, across the frame rail, and then it goes down the side of this frame rail. And then it went all the way up to the front. So I'm gonna disconnect all of that and remove that line off the vehicle completely. That's what I'm gonna do currently. Get the line completely removed. And I'm gonna keep all of this stuff. This is expensive equipment. You paid a lot of money to have this on your vehicle. I don't know why it sucks, but nonetheless, it's required by law. So I'm gonna keep all this stuff. If I deem this thing needs to be roadworthy in the future, I can always go back, you know, and put all of this emission stuff on it. They're 98% off-road vehicles. Every once in a while, I'll jump in one and run up to the store or whatever. So here we go. I'm gonna remove this line. So after that, I'm pretty much done with this full installation. Yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna get that knocked out and then I'll hit you back. This is the line I was talking about. This is the tank side here. And then it runs up along the frame rail of the vehicle. And then this is where it plugs into the actual injector. So all that's removed, and among all this other crap, it's amazing how much stuff they put on these things. Let's take another look at everything underneath. I do have to stress the fit and finish of this exhaust is remarkable. I don't know if I showed it, but this is your bolt to secure it. I mean, this thing is solid too, like it's not going anywhere. It doesn't really move hardly at all. A little bit in these rubber boots or mounts, but no vibration, no noise. I mean, I can beat on it. You don't hear anything, man. It's just solid. Even the back portion of it, inside, it's got two hangers. It just doesn't move, which is awesome. That's it. If y'all have any questions, I'll answer what I can. Just don't forget to like, subscribe. Stay tuned. I've got an EGR cooler removal coming as soon as I get all the parts in. Y'all check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and put a clip here at the end of startup and a couple of revs, just so you guys can hear it and see what it sounds like. So stay tuned for that. Peace out, y'all.